This is a trigger warning. This next video is going to be challenging to get through. It was challenging to make. I'm talking about the Black woman who was actively delivering a baby while that white nurse just watched her dispassionately, disinterested. I'm talking about what's going on with the South African ladies protesting gender-based violence, and I'm going to be talking about Nigerian girls being kidnapped. So please, I know that these topics are heavy. And that's the reason why I can only do them like once a week or once every 2 weeks, because it's hard. But just imagine going through it. So please go ahead and tune in. But if you can't, I completely understand. Just swipe away. I'm sure by now we've all seen this viral clip of this Black woman, Carrie Jones, actively having a baby in front of this nurse that has the composure of someone who has smelled poop under the bottom of her shoe. When I started seeing this go viral, obviously, with the kind of content I make, I know it's my responsibility to report on these things. But sometimes, like, some things just hit so close to home. And not to say that I've ever gone through this, but just knowing and understanding how Black women are treated in this country. It's just so hard sometimes. Like, I couldn't even listen to this video because her crying, all of this, it just hurts so much. And the way, like, how can you have absolutely no compassion at this? Like, this person is in extreme pain and you just look at her like she's nothing. So all over social media, people have been acting like this woman, LaCrista Vaughn, has been fired. But there's been no credible news outlets that have reported that she's been fired, because I was searching for it and there's no major news outlets that's even talking about it. So this one article that I picked up, and I grabbed this just so I can make sure that I had everybody's names right. She's in Mesquite. This one says that she's been fired, but I do not believe that she's yet been fired. So it says a registered nurse in Texas has been fired following a video going viral showing the white RN seemingly ignoring the Black woman in active labor, crying and screaming out in pain. The outed nurse, LaCrista Vaughn, like I said, I'm doing this just so we make sure we see names correctly. LaCrista Vaughn, rather than immediately address the distressed expectant mother, Carrie Jones, continues asking questions about her medical history while the laboring woman grows increasingly restless from the excruciating pain amid delayed medical care as she waited to be admitted. I cannot understand. How can you have this kind of body language to somebody in that much pain? Like, what kind of hate has to be going through your body? And it just goes to show you how much systemic racism is still rooted in everything, how our treatment can vary from state to state and city to city and person to person, just depending on your luck. And so, like, sometimes people will say things to me, like wondering why I would specifically pull out race or talk race, is because we haven't rooted out systemic racism yet, because there are some people that are still so rooted in their hatred towards other people that, yes, we have to continue to address it, because we do get different care depending on the person who is addressing our needs. This woman does not deserve to be in a role of nurse. She shouldn't be nursing a cactus. She needs to be gone. But like I said before, I don't think that she has been fired. The way that she caused trauma to Carrie Jones's mother, and baby Cash, who was born 12 minutes later, tells me that she needs to be gone before someone dies in her care. And I put care in air quotes. I grabbed this from TikTok because, like I said, I hadn't seen anything in any kind of news outlets, but it says, update on the Mesquite, Texas labor incident. This is the nurse seen in the viral video involving Carrie Jones, the Black woman who was left laboring in the lobby at Dallas Regional Medical Center while staff focused on intake questions instead of urgent care. Social media users are alleging that she has been terminated and are circulating her license information, which you can see here. I'm not going to read these numbers off. However, there is no credible official confirmation that she has been fired, suspended, or disciplined at this time. The hospital has only stated that they are reviewing the incident, and no public action has been announced by the Texas Board of Nursing. So until verified updates are released, keep applying pressure. Contact the hospital, demand accountability and transparency, demand a full investigation into her conduct. Ask the Board of Nursing why a patient in visible distress was ignored. Make it clear that Black maternal health is not optional, negotiable, or dismissible. The family deserves answers, and if they choose to, they have the right to speak with legal counsel and explore their options. This is bigger than one nurse. This is about a system that keeps failing Black women. Stay loud, stay organized, stay focused. And I'm going to touch on the maternal health crisis in America. This is another one of the reasons why I say that the birth rate needs to plummet to hell, because getting pregnant in this country could cause you to die. Our medical community does not give a good goddamn about women, specifically Black women, because our country is built on racism and sexism, and the way that they're pulling funding for hospitals, the way labor and delivery hospitals are closing. It is just not a safe time to have babies. But if you are a Black woman, on top of all that's going on in politics, it's just not safe, because these people hate us. This article just came out October 9th. This is the Center for Reproductive Rights. And I'm sure y'all could see how worked up I'm getting. And this is the reason why it took me nearly a week to even make this video, because this is, it's just so egregious. But let's talk about maternal health, the maternal health crisis. Maternal deaths in the U.S. have been on the rise for decades. Regressive policies are making the crisis worse. The U.S. has the highest maternal mortality rate of any wealthy country. In 2023, there were 18.6 maternal deaths for every 100,000 live births in the U.S. That's almost twice the average maternal mortality rate for countries with comparable economies, and it's nearly the same as the U.S. rate 2 decades ago. The lack of progress makes the United States an outlier. Between 2000 and 2023, global maternal mortality rates dropped on average by 40%. But in the United States, the rate spent decades climbing. By the end of 2019, it hit 20.1 deaths per 100,000 live births. In 2021, the strain of COVID-19 and on an already underperforming health system pushed the number to 32.9. Though it has fallen since, 18.6 is still unacceptably high. Some wealthy nations have almost entirely eliminated preventable maternal deaths. The U.S. can and must do much better. This is what pisses me off. 80% of U.S. pregnancy-related deaths are preventable. In the United States, the lives of most women who die during pregnancy or within the following year could have been saved, but economic, legal, and social barriers keep them from getting the care they need. These include lack of care options. More than 2.2 million women of childbearing age live in counties where no maternity care is available. Some states have restricted the ability of doulas and midwives to provide care. Birth centers have also been targeted by harsh regulations. Lack of insurance coverage. Both Medicaid and private insurance may not cover essential care. Mistreatment. 1 in 6 women report mistreatment during maternity care. For women of color, the number is 1 in 4. Providers' implicit bias. Marginalized groups are at increased risk of mistreatment and neglect. They also face disproportionate barriers to care. Elimination of public health programs. Funding cuts have gutted programs and initiatives responsible for monitoring maternal health and reducing maternal mortality. Women of color are bearing the brunt of the crisis. I'll wrap it up with this one. Indigenous women are much more likely to die giving birth than women of other races. For Black women, the maternal mortality rate in 2023 was 50.3, nearly 3.5 times the maternal mortality rate for white women at 14.5. While the overall maternal deaths dropped from 2022 to 2023, Black maternal deaths actually increased. Like, and I'm not going to play that video because I can't, we can't keep rewatching Black women in pain. I don't like to do that. But just seeing how disinterested this woman was, just know and understand, especially if you are a white woman, how other people are treated by people like this. Say something, use your voices, spread the word, all of that good stuff. Let me know what you think.
I just watched something that absolutely disgusted me. As a former ER nurse and a current labor and delivery nurse, I usually try to seek the best intent of a nurse. Not today. Because barring you having a medical emergency yourself, where your legs, your arms, and your voice no longer work, there is zero excuse for the blatant neglect that I just watched. And as a reminder, Black women are 3 times as likely to die in and around childbirth than their white counterparts. Part of that is because they are not believed about their pain. How you can sit there on the computer and act like you don't notice that this woman is actively birthing beside you is crazy town to me. Unacceptable, inexcusable. And if you've got coworkers who you watch do something like that, you are just as culpable.
Have you all seen all of the purple that's all over social media? They are doing it in solidarity with South Africa. So South African women, they have a protest going on. They are calling attention to the high femicide rates in South Africa. South Africa calls gender violence a national disaster. After protests, a national disaster. This is what these women have done to call attention to their plight in South Africa. South Africa has classified violence against women a national disaster following an online campaign culminating in countrywide protests on Friday. Women were urged to withdraw from the economy for 1 day and lie down for 15 minutes at 12 local time in honor of the 15 females who are murdered in the country every day. The state had refused to make the categorization, but changed tack after evaluating the persistent and immediate life safety risk posed by ongoing acts of violence. South Africa experiences some of the world's highest level of gender-based violence, with the rate at which women are unalived 5 times higher than the global average, according to UN Women. The National Disaster Management Center, or NDMC, has classified gender-based violence and femicide as a disaster following a thorough reassessment of previous reports and updated submissions from organs of state as well as civil organizations, said Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister, maybe is Velenkosini Halabisa. If I mispronounce, I apologize. The NDMC had earlier said calls to make the categorization did not meet legal requirements. It says, warning, this report contains descriptions of SA. Friday's lie-downs happened in 15 locations across South Africa, including major cities such as Cape Town, Durban, and Johannesburg. Allies in Eswatini, Kenya, and Namibia have also expressed their support for the protests and say they joined in. The demonstrators wore black as a sign of mourning and resistance. The protest, dubbed the G20 Women's Shutdown, has been organized by Women for Change, which has also been spearheading the online campaign that has seen many people, including celebrities, change their social media profile pictures to purple, a color often linked to gender-based violence awareness. There has also been an online petition signed by over 1 million people. On Thursday, President Cyrus Ramaphosa told the G20 Social Summit that South Africa had declared gender-based violence and femicide a national crisis in 2019. Shortly afterwards, Mr. Halabisa confirmed it had been upgraded to a national disaster and that an announcement would be made on Friday, according to Women for Change. The organization shared a statement on its Instagram page on Thursday, welcoming the news and telling its followers we have won and that their persistence has been recognized. We have written history together, and we have finally forced the country to confront the truth, it said. The categorization allows government departments to use their allocated budgets to implement every measure possible to reduce the scourge, the Cooperative Governance Ministry told the BBC. If these measures fail to bring change, the government can then declare a national state disaster, which would allow for the issue to be treated with even more urgency. Before the announcement, Women for Change spokesperson Cameron Kasambala told the BBC that so many beautiful acts and legislations have been followed by lack of implementation and transparency on the government's part. We have integrated violence into our culture and into our social norms, she said. Once the government truly reacts to this issue, I feel like we'll already be able to see a reaction on the ground because they set the precedent and the tone for how the country responds. Grammy Award-winning singer Tyla is among the thousands of celebrities and citizens who have rallied behind the call and changed their social media profiles. Some have gone further, posting pictures of purple hearts, nail polish, and even clothing in what has since been dubbed the Purple Movement. A South African professor who asked to remain anonymous told the BBC she had taken leave so she could travel to Johannesburg from the state province to take part in the silent protest. It's important for her because she says she has second thoughts about simple things like jogging and hopes that the protest will slow the scourge of GBV. However, some women have faced a backlash from employers for wanting to participate in the protest. One product designer who works for a major corporation said they were strongly advised against taking part. Some women who feel the government is not doing enough have taken matters into their own hands. Lynette Oxley founded Girls on Fire to help women protect themselves through firearm ownership. It is legal to own a firearm in South Africa for self-defense if a person has a valid license. Most of the women in her group have been raped, attacked, robbed, or experienced some level of violence. Look at this woman right here. Look at her. Look at her. All right. Prudence joined the group after she was raped in 2022. I said no, I screamed. I cried, but he didn't take no for an answer, she told the BBC. Trying to find justice was an uphill battle as her case was withdrawn because her rape kit, the DNA they take after the crime, was lost. It isn't a police problem. It's a nation problem. Everybody needs to be all hands on deck to protect women and children. But these governments, they need to be shamed on a global basis in order for women and girls to even get acknowledged as being worthy of being protected. Now let's shift gears to Nigeria. Some girls have been kidnapped from their school. And this is important because, like I said, girls and women, we're not safe around the globe. So let's talk about this. And this is not the first time in Nigeria a group of girls have been kidnapped. So it says, children and staff reportedly abducted in latest attack in Nigerian school. An unknown number of students and staff were kidnapped by an unidentified armed man in an attack on a Catholic boarding school in western Nigeria early Friday. The incident occurred before dawn, around 2 a.m. local time, at St. Mary's School in the Papiri community of the Agwara local government area in Niger State, according to the Nigeria Police Force's Niger State Command, which said in a statement that armed bandit had abducted a yet-to-be-ascertained number of students from the school's hostel. Police tactical units, military components, and other security agencies have moved to the scene, combing the forest with a view to rescue the abducted students, police added. The Niger State government also confirmed in a statement that it has received with deep sadness the disturbing news of the kidnapping of pupils from St. Mary's School in Agwara local government area, adding that the exact number of abducted pupils is yet to be confirmed as security agencies continue to assess the situation. The statement noted that the unfortunate incident comes despite prior intelligence warning of heightened threats in part of Niger State and the governor ordering temporary closure of all boarding schools with the affected zone as a precautionary measure. Regrettably, St. Mary's School proceeded to reopen and resume academic activities without notifying or seeking clearance from the state government, thereby exposing pupils and the staff to avoidable risk. Abu Bakr Usman, secretary to the Niger State government, said in a statement. Local media reports say a roll call at the school revealed that 52 students are missing, as well as a number of staff. ABC News is working to confirm this. It's the latest in a string of recent attacks by armed groups across Nigeria, including Monday's kidnapping of 25 schoolgirls in nearby Kebbi State. This incident has prompted Nigerian President Bola Tinubu to postpone planned trips abroad. So, I had heard about the kidnapping of 25 students, and I did not realize that when I was reading this, that this was a completely separate incident. There has been 2 major incidents where girls have been kidnapped. What are they doing in these places to provide any kind of safety to women and girls specifically? And this is not the first time. I know y'all remember, or you could remember back in 2014 when maybe it was 275 girls got kidnapped, and not all of those girls have been seen or accounted for. These places across the world are not safe for women and girls at the hands of men. Call a thing a thing.